Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Jason from Dropshipping University coming back at you with a brand new episode. In today's episode, we are going to be discussing and I'm going to be showing you a list that I've compiled for you of the ways to avoid getting banned on eBay in 2020. I've had a lot of people come to me and tell me that they've had suspensions in the past. Usually it's in the form of an MC011. That is the error code that eBay will send you when your account has been suspended. And unfortunately, a lot of times people are indefinitely suspended, meaning they cannot get back onto the platform. So you really don't want to be ending up in that situation, but 99% of the time it is caused by something. There's always a root cause, and that's what we're going to be talking about today so that you can be proactive within your eBay store and you can make sure that you can avoid getting an MC011 and you can be above board and continue your dropshipping sales on eBay. So if this sounds good to you guys, make sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and be sure to hit the bell notification. That way, every single time I put out videos just like this one, you will be notified. Also, down in the description below is a link to my brand new Instagram profile. Make sure to go follow that profile. I put a ton of new dropshipping tips and motivation every single day, and it's completely exclusive to Instagram, so make sure to go follow that. So without further ado, we're going to get right into my PowerPoint presentation, and I'm going to be going through all of the key points that you need to be taking into consideration with your eBay dropshipping business. Okay guys, so here we are inside of my computer, and let me take out my pointer to go along with you. And before we get into this, guys, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell notification so that every time you will be notified when I put videos out just like this. So let's get into it. First thing we're going to be talking about is the key points. You need to be playing by eBay's rules for success, and that's just a general rule of thumb. You are in their playground, you are in their house, you need to be following their rules, and that is how you will succeed long-term on eBay dropshipping, okay? The second thing you need to be doing is understanding your seller metrics. It is your responsibility, it is your duty to make sure that you understand all the implications for your metrics on your account when you're selling. You need to know every bit of your metrics, whether it's your return metrics, your customer service metrics, item defects. We're going to be talking all about those things, but you need to know those inside and out. The third key point is you need to be limiting the amount of cases that you get, especially early on. You always want to be mitigating cases, and cases are pretty much the customer is disputing the transaction that they had on eBay. They are unsatisfied with the level of service or the order that they got from you, and you need to be limiting the amount of cases that you get, because ultimately it is detrimental to your account, not only from the metric standpoint but also from the standpoint of poor customer service, and that is going to have higher implications when it comes down to perhaps getting higher final value fees and just, all around bad in the eyes of eBay, because they will be pushing you down when it comes to search, and you can ultimately get your account suspended if you perpetuate that. So continuing on, number 4 is you need to stop canceling orders. There's so many people out here that are constantly canceling orders because they don't want to take a loss. They didn't have some policy set up right. There's many reasons as to why people are canceling orders, but you need to stop canceling orders. That is a very bad thing in the eyes of eBay because it leads to a poor customer buying experience. And lastly, you need to be growing at a more steady rate and not be growing and expanding your brand new dropshipping store right out the gate. You need to be taking it slow and steady, not $50,000 in sales in the first month or first 2 months. That is going to raise some red flags with eBay, and it might end up getting your account suspended because you might be viewed as a high-risk account. So let's get into this. First thing that I really want you guys to understand, again, is that you're in eBay's house. You're in their playground. So you need to be playing by eBay's rules. This is not a game. It's a business. That's really important. You need to treat it as a business as you would any other business. Now, this is not this is not a get rich quick scheme either. And that's really important. A lot of people get the misrepresentation that somehow eBay dropshipping is a get rich quick scheme. And I understand that there's a lot of gurus and their marketing message tells you that, but you need to block that out, because I'm here to tell you that this is not a get rich quick scheme. I've been in this game for 4 years plus, and it's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of processes and time and money and effort that goes into it. So you need to be treating it like a business, not a get rich quick scheme. Third thing I want to let you guys know is retail dropshipping is not allowed. If you have not gotten that memo in the past year and a half, eBay did come out and tell us that retail dropshipping or dropshipping from marketplaces or retail websites, competitor retail websites, is not allowed on their platform. They came out and told us that, and I appreciate that they came out and told us that, because in the past it was more of a mystery. Now we know, certainly based on their eBay dropshipping policy. Okay, you can go on Google, search for that. It's very easy to find, and it says it clear as English. Okay, what you can be doing as far as dropshipping is dropshipping from manufacturers or wholesale distributors. That's where you get a wholesale agreement or a wholesale contract, and they take care of the fulfillment. That is known as wholesale dropshipping. That's really what we talk about on this channel, because it's the only way that you're allowed to be dropshipping. So if you want to be in compliance with eBay's rules, you need to be transitioning your retail dropshipping business over to wholesale dropshipping, or using obscure retail suppliers and using our manual dropshipping method. But again, I prefer wholesale dropshipping. The next thing I want to talk about, guys, is do not screw over eBay. And what does that mean? That could be if you had an old account and you didn't pay your invoice, right? You have an old account that you need to pay those invoices. You can't just say, I'm going to start a new account, not pay that money that I owe to eBay, and just, be free and everything's going to be fine. Like, eBay knows that information because it's cross-linked, because you have the same information unless you're using a stealth account. They know that you haven't paid your invoices, and that really leaves you in bad standing with eBay. You need to be paying off your old invoices, and if you were, permanently suspended on an old account, they're probably going to, they're not going to just reinstate a brand new account. So when I say, guys, open up a brand new eBay account, that's obviously if you haven't been permanently suspended and you need to be paying off your old invoices. Okay, it's really important. People forget that. They think they can just run away from it. You need to be doing that. eBay's a business. And the last thing I want to tell you guys about playing by eBay's rules is customer service is king. That's really what they care about. They care about the buyer's experience. They're a marketplace. They're facilitating transactions, bringing a buyer and a seller together and making a transaction happen. So they care about their customers because that's their brand name. That's their service. That's how they exist as a business. So they have to make sure that the customers are happy, and they want those customers to keep coming back onto their platform. And the way that they do that is by mandating certain rules that we need to be abiding by. That's really important. So let's go on. We're going to talk about your seller metrics. In seller metrics, there's a lot of them, and you need to know them like the back of your hand. This is a business. Okay. So right here, you're going to see, this is a screenshot from your seller dashboard, your seller hub, and you can see you will have an evaluation. You could be above standard, below standard, or top rated. You can see your transaction defect rate. You can see your late shipment rate, etc. You want to have your tracking uploaded on time and validated. You want to have cases closed with seller resolution. So if you have cases closed without seller resolution, that's going to be a ding on your metrics. You want to avoid that stuff. Transactions and sales, we can see all of that from a bird's eye view here. So you need to be uploading your tracking on time. Once you get the tracking number from your supplier, you need to be putting that into the eBay order, because if you don't put tracking numbers in, here's what's going to happen. You're going to have a customer who's probably going to message you because they're mostly impatient, saying, where is my product? I haven't gotten a tracking number, and they're going to be confused and or upset. Okay, that's number one. So second thing is, if you don't upload the tracking and more days go on after them contacting you and they still don't see that tracking number as being delivered, then they're going to open up things like disputes. They can even open up a dispute on PayPal, which is a whole nother problem, but they can also open up a case on eBay, which if you don't respond to quick enough by uploading that tracking, you will get a metric ding, and that's going to be right here, cases closed without seller resolution, because eBay will just find it in the buyer's favor and close it out within 48 hours. So you need to be uploading that tracking. Not only is it going to mitigate the amount of questions and messages you're going to be getting from the buyers, but it's also going to put them at ease because they're going to know where their item is. You want to be stating your handling time and shipping time as accurately as possible. I know during this whole COVID situation, a lot of suppliers are delayed, but you need to be communicating with your suppliers to then update your eBay shipping and handling profile to match that of your suppliers, because if you do not, then the buyer is going to be getting that or purchasing that product in anticipation that it's going to be arriving at their house at a certain date. And if that's inaccurate, if it takes longer to get there, again, they're going to be upset and you're going to have to deal with more messages, more potential cases, and all that stuff. Next thing, you want to be resolving all cases. This is a business. It does happen. If you're doing volume of any sort, you're going to be getting cases from time to time. You need to be, taking care of those as quick as possible, uploading the evidence and or closing it out by refunding the buyer. You need to be taking care of those as soon as they come in. And the last thing is know your supplier well. This goes hand in hand with really matching up your shipping and handling time, but also know their return policies, understand any issues that your supplier might have, any shortcomings that your supplier might have. And those are the things that you're going to have to do as far as adjustments go for reselling their products. Okay, so let's move on here, guys. You need to be limiting the amount of cases that you're receiving. Again, accurate handling time of your items. That's accurate handling and shipping times of your item. This is a huge root cause as to why you're going to get open cases against you from the buyer. Make sure that the items actually get delivered. So this is a process that you should be putting in behind the scenes to be checking up periodically on the status of deliveries. And sometimes this is what happens. The items get delivered to the wrong address. They might get delivered to the wrong suite or unit number, because a lot of people live in apartments. And sometimes they even get delivered to the wrong states. And a lot of times, unfortunately, we also have opportunistic buyers that say that they never received the item when in fact they did. So now it's on you to try to, reassure them that they did get the item or prove that they did get the item. So you do not want to be trying to scheme the system. And a lot of people are putting in fake tracking numbers and doing all kinds of things, and it ends up just making a mess for your dropshipping business. Do not try to scheme the system. It's not worth it in the long run. You will get your account suspended and or a lot of upset customers, and you're just going to have a lot more processes in place. Don't do it. Do things the right way. Okay. And don't be using Amazon at all as a supplier. I've said this time and time again, but it really comes down to, especially in this day and age, the fact that most people get very low profit margins, but also the issue with Amazon logistics. Everybody says, oh, I use Blue Care Express. That's the solution for Amazon logistics. It's not a solution at all. eBay can easily keep track of that stuff. It's a telltale sign that you're using Amazon as a supplier, and Amazon is moving more and more towards Amazon logistics. It's like 30-40% right now of all the items that are being shipped from Amazon Prime using Amazon logistics. That's eBay's #1 competitor. They do not want that. Okay, so do not use Amazon as a supplier. That is the moral of the story there. You need to be getting cases closed out in a timely manner. As I said before, they give you about 48 hours, but I would do them as they come in. Like, that's a very high priority. There's certain things as far as customer service go that are higher priority. That's going to be your #1 priority. When you sign in or your virtual assistant signs into your seller hub, you need to be checking those and taking care of them immediately. And lastly, if you have to lose a bit of money to keep up your account, do it. By all means, do it. I've done it so many times, $5, $10, $20, even more sometimes, just to make sure that the buyer is happy. And I understand we're running a business and you're trying to mitigate losses because your bottom line is important to running a successful business, but it's also more important to run a long-term successful business. And in order to do so, sometimes you have to take losses. And that's why I love wholesale dropshipping, because we're operating on higher margins, 15% to 30% on average, much better than retail. Okay, so moving on, you guys need to stop canceling so many orders. And I see this a lot of times with beginners, but even sometimes the people who have been doing this for months and months, they are canceling orders because they don't want to take those losses. And that's usually the #1 reason, because you don't want to take a small loss. And you need to do that sometimes. That is going to keep you, selling on eBay's marketplace for the long term. Another thing is that you guys need to make sure that you're setting up your repricer correctly. Whatever repricer you're using, you need to make sure that it's set up correctly. And if you have a ton of items up there, and you are, let's say for example that you are migrating, this is something that I've seen, is you're transitioning from one repricer to another, and you just take all of your items from that repricer and try to transfer them over. You need to make sure that there's no issues, and that's why I always say do it on a small scale. Do it on 5 products, 10 products, so that you know if there's any issues, you can actually take care of them on a small scale before transitioning all of your products, all of your active listings from one repricer to another. So that's really a pro tip there. Use suppliers that don't change stock frequently, and that's the best part, and it's a very understated part about wholesale dropshipping, guys. A lot of these wholesale suppliers don't change their stock as frequently. There's certain ones that are better than others, obviously, like any suppliers. There's some that are worse than others, but at the end of the day, it's much better than trying to drop ship from a place like Amazon or Walmart, where the stock levels are constantly changing and there's so many other people drop shipping those products. So literally in the matter of minutes, products will go out of stock, whereas with wholesale dropshipping, we don't have to deal with that as much. You need to find the item on another website if you can't find that product. So there's certain things that you guys can do in order to make sure that you can still get the product out. And that's something that I've done before, is either I'll sell a product that's very, very similar that the buyer probably won't know is a different product, or I'll find that exact same product on a different supplier's website. Sometimes I have to pay more to fulfill the item, but that's part of the game, because you are contractually obligated basically to get the product. You are in a contract, a binding agreement with a buyer when they buy your product. So you need to hold up your end of the bargain and send that item to them. Let's move on, guys. We're almost done here. And this is also really important. It's something that is really starting to be more and more apparent to us. It was not as big of a deal, I would say, back 2 years ago, but grow your account slower, okay? You do not want to be just saying, I'm going to get $30,000 in the first month of my brand new eBay account, because what's going to happen is eBay is going to probably take a look at your account and say you're a high-risk dropshipper, a high-risk seller, because you're growing too quickly, and they really care about risk mitigation. And one of the things that they do with new accounts is they do something called a velocity review, and Amazon does this too. If you're selling on Amazon, they are well known for doing this. So maybe do less sales, right, and grow some of your processes in the back end while you're waiting to get to a bigger account. That's what I would say. Try to keep it in increments, okay? So like 1,000 in the first week, or 1,000 in the first 2 weeks, 5,000 in the second 2 weeks, 10,000 in the second month, something like that. That way that you're not growing too quickly and raising any red flags with eBay. You need to be paying close attention to any potential uprising issues, and that's kind of goes hand in hand with growing too fast. So I think it's a combination, honestly, from eBay when they send out these MC011s to people. Not only is it growing too quickly, but it's also you are not keeping up with your metrics. You're giving the customer a bad experience, essentially. And those who are patient will be in this for the long run. Patience is really important, guys. You don't want to rush this. If you're looking to make quick cash, this isn't the business for you. In month 4, 5, 6, year 2, yeah, those are times where you're going to be making a ton of money with relatively low amount of work output, but you have to put in the process and work behind the scenes before you get to that point. So you need to have patience when it comes to eBay dropshipping. So in conclusion, do not try to scheme the system on eBay. It's not worth it. Okay, always keep your metrics in good standing, great standing, I would say. You always want to make sure that the customer is happy. That's what eBay cares about the most. That's really, really what's important to them. As long as you do that, you will be fine. You need to stop canceling orders. That leads to a bad buying experience. Think about if you were the buyer and you kept buying these items, and then you get messages from the seller saying, oh, we don't have that item anymore. Sorry, you need to cancel it. Like that's a waste of time for them. That's disappointing. It's many things, and it leads to a bad buyer experience. That's what eBay's trying to stop. You need to know your suppliers. So during crazy times like right now, where supply chains are all messed up and stock levels are kind of all over the place, you need to be in communication directly with your suppliers and know whether or not they can get those items out in the stated shipping and handling time, or if there needs to be an extension in those lead times. Okay, grow your business based on your experience level. You do not want to be just jumping into this. This is your first time ever selling on eBay. You don't want to be just jumping into this, throwing up a whole bunch of items, getting a whole bunch of sales, and then getting your account suspended, because before you know it, you will have an MC011 and you will probably not be able to sell on eBay without a stealth account. And lastly, you must be going wholesale, the wholesale dropshipping route in 2020. That is the reason that, eBay really wants us to make that leap, okay? If you were doing retail dropshipping, they want you to start doing wholesale dropshipping. They say it explicitly in their policy. You must be doing this in 2020. You can still be using retail dropshipping as a business model, but you have to be doing it the right way. It's a lot more work, and it's still potentially more risky than doing it the quote unquote by the books way, which is wholesale dropshipping. That is what I suggest and advocate for you guys to do, and it's going to probably keep you on the platform a lot longer. All right, guys, so there you have it. Those are the most important parts to not getting suspended on eBay and being able to sell on the platform for the long haul. That's what we're in this for, not a get rich quick scheme, not make a whole bunch of money and get out. That's not what we're about here. You need to be doing things by the books and following those procedures. It's really not that hard. It's just good business practice, in my opinion. Don't be scheming eBay. Do things the right way, and you will reap the rewards, month over month, year over year. So many times you will be getting paid dividends, and hopefully you'll get this business to a point where your employees will be able to run it on, pretty much on autopilot, and you will be reaping all of those rewards, the hard work that you put in to set that up. So make sure to do things the correct way. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and also be sure to hit the little bell notification so that way you get notified every single time I put out videos just like this one. If you guys have any comments or questions, make sure to ask them below. If you have any more tips from your own experience, also be sure to drop them down below. Also, in the description is a link to my new Instagram profile. That profile is awesome. I just got on Instagram pretty recently, and I've been putting out a lot of exclusive dropshipping tips, strategy, and even motivation. So you guys should go check that out. Make sure to follow my Instagram. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next. Thank you.